The Clippers say they wanted injury-prone Kawhi Leonard to play in the Olympics. Sure. Quentin Byfield parlays a career year into a bigger contract with the Kings, and an NFL analyst thinks Chargers wide receiver Quentin Johnston will not rebound from his poor rookie season. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos morning report. And so it is July 16th, 2024. I am back in southern Illinois. Enjoy the thunder and lightning. Meanwhile, I'd like to congratulate Teoscar Hernandez for winning Home Run Derby. I'd like to, but I never cared about Home Run Derby. Love the Dodgers, hate Home Run Derby. Heard the national anthem was an abomination before the Lord. Still hate Home Run Derby. I'm not going to watch, but congratulations, Teoscar, nonetheless. If you like being in the know about real sports, especially the ones that come from LA, clickety-clack the like button, clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know exist, and by all means, comment. Now, before we go through the news and notes, a look at the scoreboard. Nothing yesterday. No games with LA teams. Meanwhile, today, Seattle is at the LA Sparks at 12:30. Nneka Ogwumike returns to LA to face her former team. But what do you say we get to the news? Last week, I speculated the Clippers might have been behind pulling Kawhi Leonard from Team USA before the Olympics. After all, you're opening a brand new arena. You just lost Paul George. Can you really risk your only player, your only elite player? Because James Harden's losing a step. Your only elite player, do you really want to risk him getting injured playing glorified exhibition games? Of course not. But team president Lawrence Frank said, no. It was USA Basketball's decision all along. And moreover, he was disappointed. Quote, Kawhi wanted to play. We wanted him to play. I was there the first two practices. He looked very good. Participated, was a full participant in everything that they did. I wasn't there for the third practice where ultimately that was the point where they decided to go in a different direction, unquote. This does not add up. It doesn't. Leonard only helps Team USA by being there. The idea that Leonard isn't good enough for Team USA is a fantasy. Leonard not being there definitely helps the Clippers. Because if you recall, the last time Leonard, and he's always injured, the last time Leonard got injured, either one of two things happens. He misses the playoffs, or if it's a major injury, he's not going to be even remotely the same player for about 2 years. You don't even want Kawhi Leonard playing horse with kids in a local park. He might get injured just standing at the free throw line. He might get injured trying to teach a kid how to shoot a set shot. So, no, I don't buy this story at all. The only wait longer than the one at the DMV is the one where you wait for Kawhi Leonard to get healthy enough off of the injured list. And you might wonder why Frank would go all in to talk about Kawhi Leonard in the Olympics. Again, Leonard's always injured. We know this. Well, then you realize there was something else that the scribes really wanted to talk about. And that's why the Clippers are turning into the NBA's version of the Minnesota Vikings. Not in terms of whether or not the Vikings will ever win anything, because much like the Clippers, the Vikings haven't. No, I'm talking about run-ins with the law. The Vikings have been arrested 60 times since the year 2000. You would think that the Raiders or the Cowboys were NFL's bad boys. You would be wrong. It's the Minnesota Vikings. Now, the Clippers can't catch that record in terms of players with run-ins with the law, but they can sign Kevin Porter Jr. They can go all out trying to sign Miles Bridges. Team domestic abuse, or I should say team alleged domestic abuse. The Clippers redesigned their logo with a ship. They should have made that logo into a double wide trailer and a guy out in front of the double wide trailer bouncing a basketball and wearing a wife beater, getting tased by the cops. And Frank gave the rudimentary answer that you'd expect when the scribes are like, why are you going after all these guys who keep getting arrested in domestic abuse cases? Quote, in no way are we downplaying or diminishing or condoning domestic violence, and we take these allegations very, very seriously, unquote. And then he said, Kawhi Leonard is a great American who really wanted to play in the Olympics. USA. Does that make sense? Because it doesn't to me. In other Clipper news, Shams Charania of The Athletic is reporting that the rumored break between the Clippers and Russell Westbrook will happen relatively soon. So, lots of awkward Clipper news to get to. Let me know what you think. Quentin Byfield, a restricted free agent, has his long-term deal, 5 years with the Kings. It averages out to a little more than $6 million per year. For the NHL, that's big money. Last year was a bit of a breakout for the guy. He finally averaged more than 15 minutes a game, and he produced with those 15 minutes. It was his first 20-goal season as he shared time on the top line with Anze Kopitar. But then the question becomes, did Byfield play just well enough to earn a better contract and then slack off? Or will he continue to advance? Because it is an extremely fair question. The Kings desperately need Byfield to not have a 20-goal season be his plateau. He needs to do more. It's not that he's a bad guy. The Kings need players that outplay their contracts across the board because they keep falling in the first round of the playoffs to Edmonton, and their general manager keeps going out of his way to get slackers for big-time free agent signings. And that put him in a salary cap bind. There have been a number of players in sports who blow up right before getting their contract year, and once they get the bag, decide to, kick back on the couch with a bag of Funyuns. He might not be on the number one line next year with Kopitar. Remember, Byfield is originally a center. The Kings have a hole at center because they traded known sluggard Pierre-Luc Dubois away. And Byfield is now the fourth highest paid player on the team. To earn that check, Byfield needs to lift the teammates around him. And center is one of the positions where you lift teammates around you. Kings have a question they need to answer with Byfield. And it's not whether or not they can keep him, because that part was taken care of. Pro Football Focus, or PIF, is not high on Chargers wide receiver Quentin Johnston at all. The running story from the Bolts is Johnston, he stunk up the joint as a rookie with just 38 receptions last year, only 2 touchdowns, but new coach, new year, new me. There's nowhere to go but up for Quentin Johnston. But PFF, an analytics group, thinks this, quote, Johnston displayed a very limited skill set, and the team seemed completely unable to carve him out even a limited role within the offense that played to his strengths. Overall, he averaged just 0.88 yards per route run, ranking 22nd among rookie wide receivers. As a player with a draft profile that wasn't to everybody's tastes, Johnston enters his second season under real pressure to show that he can be effective in the NFL, even if it's in a certain role or on a less competitive or on a less complete route tree, unquote. They don't think he can handle the job. A less complete route tree means that, I don't know, dude, just go out for screens. I don't know how to answer that. That's a lot of inside football talk right there that even I don't necessarily get can fully fathom. All I can tell you is that sounds gross. That sounds like, despite all the happy talk coming out of the Chargers, maybe Quentin Johnston is a bust. I don't know yet. I'm just saying maybe. In one sense, we can now say that Bronny James can in fact shoot. He won a Call of Duty contest at NBA Summer League, which actually made news both on ESPN and CBS. The players got together for a big video game tournament and Bronny James takes the prize. It's good to know that he excels in the things that truly matter in life, wouldn't you say? Meanwhile, we do know the Lakers have a full roster, if not a championship level one. We also know that they are over the dreaded first apron of the salary cap as opposed to the evil second apron. But they still dream of upgrading the roster. JJ Redick was asked by SiriusXM Radio what he wanted in an upgrade. Quote, "We'd love to, we tried, but we'd love to at some point get another 5-man. Another bruising 5-man. You look at the Western Conference right now, whether it's Denver, Minnesota, OKC with what they added, certainly Memphis, they're going to be back in the hunt. They added Zach Edey. Certain matchups in the playoffs, you're going to need a lot of size," unquote. And I don't think Redick's wrong. Aside from the fact that you need size in the playoffs because the playoffs tend to get more physical, Anthony Davis doesn't like to play the 5. So this analysis isn't wrong. What bothers me is it's not the only obvious hole that the Lakers have. What are they going to do, right? I don't even know if there's quality big men out there to be had. They added about 3 or 4 of them last year, and look what happened. Squat. Davis played the center all year long anyway. Tanook Hines is a 4-star wide receiver from Houston, and he has committed to play for USC as part of the recruiting class from 2025. He caught 85 passes as a junior for 1,343 yards, 12 touchdowns. And I have to tell you something. It's kind of like, if you look at the way USC's recruiting has gone, from a big picture, 30,000 feet view, as they say, it's like Lincoln Riley always knew that he had the ability to attract offensive skilled players in his back pocket. So why not focus on all these defensemen, and if they abandon ship, then we always know we can get offensive skill. The bottom line is, and we've stated this before, the Trojans' new defensive coaches have to put up some results with what limited talent they have before they reap the rewards of a better recruiting class on defense. It's kind of obvious. We mentioned the Dodgers took a shortstop in the first round of the Major League Baseball draft on Sunday. We also mentioned that Kellen Lindsey can't hit for power, which is odd when you consider the Dodgers' recent history at short. Corey Seager, Mookie Betts, even Gavin Lux was considered a power guy. Then, of course, he stopped hitting anything. But does this mean the Dodgers are looking away from the long ball? Because last year's first-round pick, Kendall George, is also a speedster. Are they now finally deciding to break free from going home run or bust? Now, that's hard to say. A couple of scribes wrote that the scouts likened Lindsey to Trey Turner. Would you really want to whiff on that if you have a chance to draft the next Trey Turner? Just wondering. One of the more informative podcasts in Major League Soccer is Corner of the Galaxy. One of the co-hosts is an LA Times soccer reporter. To be honest, I don't know which one of the hosts tweeted this, but one of them noticed something, that 3 of the Galaxy losses came without striker Dejan Joveljic. We're not talking missing Ricky Puig. We're not talking missing Gabriel Peck or Joseph Paintsill. No, it's missing Dejan Joveljic. He missed last week's match with a hamstring problem, and the Galaxy face-planted in a 2-0 loss to Dallas, one of the bottom feeders in the Western Conference. So that would suggest when the summer transfer window opens, maybe they need a quality backup striker. Manager Greg Vanney agreed with that to an extent, but he also simply believes that the team wasn't fit enough for Texas humidity. Midfielder Clarisse Lebihan, a French international, and Angel City have mutually agreed to part ways, which I imagine means that Lebihan kept telling management that they suck in French. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me about the Clippers and their propensity to draft people who really like the back of a squad car. Do you believe Quentin Byfield can make that next jump? And if so, can he make it immediately? And if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Quian Corte El Queso production. Take care.